retardation, then, it simply means that we're talking about people with some kind of physical impairment.
No,
is that correct?
No, not necessarily. Again, there can be physical impairments involved as well. But it would be just a lesser ability to learn. That it may be because of some sort of birth
defect.
Thank you, or some type of chromosomal problem. But now physically they may be fine. Again, there may be some complications, but certainly not everyone with mental retardation has a physical or other type of mental illness. So it just varies from one individual to the other. But mostly it's one's ability to learn and at the rate at which they will learn, which is why we try to adapt things and break things down into little steps, and so that someone can learn one step at a time and build upon that.
Very good. Ms. LElledge, people who are involved in this alternative workforce, how are they compensated, and exactly how does this compensation help them in improving their own lifestyles and whatnot? Why don't you give our audience some information about that, because I'm sure that some of them have had an opportunity to be around people involved in this alternative workforce without ever understanding exactly what is the nature of what's going on.
We perform time studies to determine how we're going to price a contract. And in doing the time study, we come up with how much it costs to do every step of a job. If a person wants a mailing done where we're going to fold a letter, put it in an envelope, put a stamp, put a label, seal it, each of those steps has a price. So we will pay our folks for every step they work on. We'll pay them a piece rate. So the faster they work, the more money they make. We're under a special certificate from Wage and Hour, so that, which means we would pay less than
the minimum wage.
Minimum wage. But if a person is 100% productive, follows the normal production standards and is 100%, they will make a prevailing wage rate, which is higher than minimum wage. So we pay our folks by the piece. It builds self-esteem, and in addition just to improving standard of living and having more money to meet the needs, it improves the self-esteem of our folks. The Paycheck Day at Rochelle Center is a big day. I mean, everyone wants to show you their paycheck because it makes them feel so good that they've earned that money.
It's just the ability to be able to become productive and involved in the workforce that is the most important thing, not necessarily the amount of money that is on the check.
Exactly.
Very good. And I would imagine that there are many success stories that the two of you can tell about what has happened. And I think more than anything, if we can get some success stories, people can relate to that. Why don't the two of you think of some of the things that have happened at Rochelle Center that have made you glad to be involved in what you're doing there?
There are a lot of those. It's true that, the self-esteem and the paycheck, this society values working and paychecks. And we've been able to give that to both the folks with mental retardation and the ones who are having memory loss. From working on this new adapted work service, I have had families tell me that it has been a lifesaver for them, because in one particular case, for example, this is the daughter is the caregiver, the mother is the program participant, and she and her husband, the daughter's father, moved up from Alabama or from another state to live with the daughter because of the father's failing health, and the mother was having some problems with her memory. And once she was diagnosed with actually having probable Alzheimer's disease, she became very depressed, and there are virtually no other programs at this time in this area for people in the early stages of memory loss. So when they learned about this program, the daughter was just extremely excited. And Mom was a little hesitant at first to come, but once she started, she loved it. They've made new friends at a time in their lives when they're losing friends, because, again, they moved from their home of 30 years to be nearer their daughter. And so they've had a lot of loss in the last several years. And for her, this has been something that has just given her a reason to get up in the morning. Her daughter has said that she, for the longest time, once she had that diagnosis, that she wanted to die and would continually talk about wanting to die. And that's been, a couple of them have said that.
And the program has sort of given them a refocus and a new purpose in life. That's very positive kind of experience. What about you?
Well, we have a person in the workshop that came to mind for me. He's somebody that went out into supported employment for 3 days a week, and they're very supportive of him at this new place. He had developed to the point that his social skills and being able to get along with other people, in addition to being a good worker who would, do what he was told and whatever, was able to go out into supportive employment. But he wanted to come back to Rochelle Center 2 days a week because of the being able to socialize with his friends. Those opportunities were real important to him. So it was good that his level of functioning was such that he could go out into the community to work. But he still wanted to come back and be with his pals.
Very good. I think when we talk about